So the Twin Cities business called you the Twin Cities beer pioneer. And my original question was actually, what do you think set you apart from others in the industry? But I think you've already done a pretty good job of answering that question in your other answers. So I want to ask that the same article mentioned that you were continuing to seek new growth opportunities. So could you give us an example of what you were looking for then, or maybe something you're still looking for?
In opportunities, you're saying?
Yep.
Future opportunities in what direction?
That's up to you.
How much time do you have, Wendy?
About 10 minutes.
Oh, damn.
No, not really 10 minutes, like 5 minutes.
Well, I have to be brutally honest. One of my biggest concerns about where the craft brewing industry is going today, and a couple of weeks ago, a close friend of mine and author, journalist, a beer fanatic, he's trained. We were talking about how beer has gone stupid, where all of a sudden we find ourselves where styles of beer, and I understand these brewers for their marketing focus and everything is they're saying like, fuck the boundaries, right? Screw what defining the style is. This is us and all this stuff. I totally get their marketing gist. But we have a lot of beer drinkers that are new. And yet, after 35 years, they don't even know what classical styles are. So again, going back to our core and why we started this brewery is to reincorporate classical styles of beer. And then within those definition of styles, you can be individualistic. There's no question. But, when I'm looking at some of the folks that are in the industry, they have no technical training. I totally understand the idea of having a dream in your garage and wanting to go pro. But when you experiment on customers, that's bullshit. It truly is. And I know of breweries, and all of you guys do as well, that, oh gosh, this batch kind of went off, so we'll call it a sour. Now, I'm not going to criticize someone who has a small-scale brewery. 95% of their income comes from their tap room. They can do beer du jour every damn day of the week. And that can be their business plan. I'm comfortable with that. But if they're putting beer in a can or a bottle and it explodes on a retail shelf or ruptures pallets of beer at wholesalers, that's inexcusable. And when the Brewers Association put out a publication about 5 years ago saying, here's a book that you should buy, 101 ways to avoid exploding cans, that's inexcusable for this industry. This is why you go to brewing school. It's like these knuckleheads. I mean, down the street, got this lawyer, made a bunch of money. He's a home brewer. Money is no object. He got a couple of blue ribbons at the state fair. And he goes, Mark, I hear that you're a guy that I should talk to get into this industry. I go, okay, so what's your business plan? He goes, I'm not only going to make the best goddamn beer in the world, but I'm going to change all these restrictive legislative laws and I'm going to push forward. And I look at him and say, hey, Jack, who's going to make the beer? Who's going to put it in a package to get it to distributors, then to retail customers? And he goes, well, I am. And I said, well, did you go to brewing school? What's your experience? What's your depth? He goes, no, I got these ribbons. Everybody loves my beer. And I look at the guy and I go, Jack, what would you say if I went down the street, rented a storefront, hung out a shingle, and practiced law without a license? And he goes, oh no, that's different. And I go, bullshit. I mean, the level of amateurs going forward can erode the profession of brewing. And this truly is at the core of what is going to really ramp up in the next few years. I'm not criticizing people who want to create a new experience for beer drinkers. But doggone it, when you put the beer in a can or keg or bottle and you put it through the distribution system, we're talking about food manufacturing practices. And that's a huge responsibility that's not being talked about. I'll get off my ramp here.
No. We love what you're saying. We love to hear what you say because we think, one, everyone has an opinion on the industry. And obviously we have a podcast because of it. Everyone wants to talk about it. Everyone wants to promote. And if we were just to hear the exact same thing over and over and over again, it'd be boring. We wouldn't have fans. So bringing in your perspective is something we truly appreciate. And a lot of us are really happy for this answer just because it's something we don't hear very often. And I think it's something that we need to hear a little bit more often.